Hello students, in our previous lecture we are complete our unit number first, that is introduction to auditing. In introduction of auditing we are studied a meaning and definitions of auditing, principles of auditing, advantages and limitations of auditing, and last content of first unit, that is types of audit. In types of audit we are studied internal audit and external audit. Okay, and external audit is subdivision in other types of audit. Okay, in our today's lecture we are going to start our unit number 4, that is heads of income. In this unit we have to study a content 4.2, that is computation of profit and gains from business and profession. Okay, so here business section 2 clause 13 or subsection 13, business includes any trade, commerce or manufacture or any adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce or manufacture or practical purpose. Business means the purchase and sale of manufacturer of a commodity with a view to make a profit. Business includes banking, transport business or any other adventures or manufacturing concern. Okay. Profit of an isolated transaction is also taxable under these heads. So business means any other or any concern which is engaged in manufacturing process, or in other words business means sale and purchase of commodities with a view to make a profit. It is called a business according to section 2 subsection 3. Then profession. Okay, profession means what? So profession means a profession is a vocation founded upon specialized educational training, the purpose of which is to supply objective counsel and services to others for a direct and definite compensation, wholly apart from expectations of other business gains. For examples, the work of lawyers, doctors, auditors, engineers, and so on are considered as profession. Okay, so profession means to provide a services, and uh, the professional person charges some amount against these services is called a profession. Okay, here some example is given to you. The professional includes lawyers, okay, doctors, auditors, engineers. Okay, so the assessee who provides a services to his client and charge some amount against these services are called profession. Here occasion means, so occasion is a skill of that person. Okay, for example, music, dancing, sport is the skill of that person and he earn a money from these skills is known as occasion. So here occasion means activities which are performed in order to learn livelihood, for example brokerage, music, dancing, sports, etc. Okay, so here business means any concern which is engaged for purchase and sale of manufacturer of commodities with view to make a profit. It is known as business. Profession means those who provide a services and consultancy to client and charge some amount against these services is known as profession. Profession include work of lawyers, doctors, engineers, auditors, etc. Occasion means any activity performed in order to learn livelihood. For example, brokerage, music, dancing, sport, etc. considered under occasion. Here some basic charges is given. Under section 28, the following income is chargeable to tax under the head of profit and gain of business or profession. So here some list is given for income tax or for charging a tax under the profit and gain of business or profession head. So first point, profit and gain of any business or profession is chargeable to tax. Second, any compensation or other payments due to or received by any person specified in section 28 subsection 2. Third, income derived by a trade professional or similar association from specific services performed for its members or client. It is also chargeable under the head of profit and gain of business or profession, chargeable to tax. Fourth one, the value of any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not, arising from business or the exercise of a profession, is also chargeable to tax. Any perquisite or benefits. Convertible means the perquisite or the value of benefit which is converted into money or not from arising from business or profession is chargeable to tax. Fifth, export incentive available to exporters. Okay, so export incentive is also chargeable to tax. Here perquisites means uh, facilities given to a employee or owners in kind or in cash is called a perquisite. Okay. Then sixth, any interest, salary, bonus, commission or remuneration received by a partner from firm is chargeable to tax under the head of profit and gain of business or profession. Next, any sum received for not carrying out any activities in relation to any business or not to share any know-how, patent, copyright, trademark, etc. So, the any sum received, okay, not carrying out the activities relation to any business, okay. So, the amount received from patent, copyrights, trademark, etc. is chargeable to tax under the head of profit and gain of business or profession. Next, 7. Any sum received under key man insurance policy including bonus. So here, any sum received under the insurance policy including bonus is chargeable to tax. Profit and gain of managing agency is also chargeable for tax. Income from speculative transactions or speculative business is also chargeable to tax. Here speculative means the income earned from trading or exchanging the shares and commodities in stock market. It is known as speculative transaction or speculative business. Income from the aforesaid activity is computed in accordance with the provision laid down in the section 29 to 44D. So the aforesaid activities are computed accordance with the provisions given in Income Tax Act 1961 under section 29 to 44D. Here computation of business income. First of all, we study to compute the income of business or taxable income of business. So here computation of business income under section 29 business income Business income is the aggregate income from all the sources specified in section 28 in respect of business or profession carried on by the SEC in the relevant previous year, as reduced by the expenses and deductions laid down in section 30 to 44D. So the business income is the aggregate income from all the sources specified in section 28 in respect of business or profession by carried on by the SEC in the relevant previous year. The expenses and expenses deductions is laid down in section 30 to 44D. So according to the sections, the expenses which is related to business is allowable for deduction, and according to section 28, the income of the business is specified under this section 28 related to business or profession. On a collective reading of two sections, following conditions are essential. So on the sections regarding or section 28 and 30 to 44D, some conditions is given here, or essential necessary condition is given here. First one, there must be a business or profession. So when we calculating or computing the income of business or profession, there must be a business or profession. Okay. Second, such business or profession must be carried on by the SEC. So the business or profession must be carried on by the SEC or the taxpayer. Okay. So that we compute the income or taxable income of business or profession under business head or profession head if the taxpayer is same. Third, the business or profession must be carried out during the previous year. Fourth, if a business or profession is closed down, the expenses cannot be deducted. Fifth, expenses will be allowed as a deduction from gross receipts only if they have been incurred in the relevant previous year. So the allowable deductions is regarding, or the allowable expenses is deducted from gross receipts and they have been incurred in the previous year. Okay, and that expenses is related to business only. Okay, any other expenses is not allowed for deduction in business or profession. 7 6, expenses incurred before setting up the business will not be allowed except where specifically provided by law. So the expenses relating to the formation of business will not be allowed for deduction except some cases or specifically provided in law, then it will be allowed for deduction. 7, taxable business or professional income or profit is computed by deducting expenses incurred for earning the income from the gross income or gross receipt or gross sales, subject to modification given in section 30 to 44D. So the allowable expenses is deducted from gross receipt, gross income or gross sales, subject to modification given in section 30 to 44D. Okay, so these are the essential conditions while computing the income of business. Okay, then methods of accounting, and there are two methods of accounting, that is mercantile system and cash system. So here mercantile system means under the mercantile system of accounting, all the income and expenses are recorded on accrual basis. Actual receipt of income or actual payment of expenses during the year is not necessary. Net profit or loss is computed after considering all income and expenses whether or not actually received or paid during the accounting period. So mercantile system means whether the income earned or not but recorded in the books of accounts is called mercantile system. Whether the expenses paid or not but it is recorded in the books of account, it is known as mercantile system of accounting. Okay. The income may be received or expenditure may be paid during the previous year or in a year preceding or following the previous year. As per this system, the annual net profit is ascertained by preparing profit and loss account or income and expenditure account. So, while following the mercantile system, we ascertain the net profit by preparing profit and loss account and income and expenditure account. We get a net profit of the concern, and according to that net profit, we compute a business income. Okay, so here the mercantile system, and then second method is cash system. Under the cash system of accounting, a record is kept of actual receipt and actual payment during particular year. It means actual cash paid and actual cash received are recorded in the cash book. It's called cash system. Okay, so under this system the receipt and payment account or cash account is prepared. So while computing the business income in problem, the profit and loss or income and expenditure statement is given to you, and according to that statement or profit and loss account, we have to compute the income of business. In profession, income and expenditure account is given or cash statement is given. According to that statement, we have to compute a income of profession or professional income. Okay, so here we study the business. What do you mean by business? What do you mean by profession? What do you mean by vocation? Some taxable income under profit and gain of business or profession head, and then computation of business income section 29, and some conditions or essential conditions are studied regarding the computation of business income. Okay, then methods of accounting. So here two methods of accounting, that is mercantile and cash system. Okay, now we are going to discuss a format for computation of business income or taxable income of business. Okay, so here computation of or format for computation of business income. Okay, computation of business income. So here first method is given when profit and loss account or income and expenditure account is given in the problem, then we follow this format to compute the taxable income of a business. So here format of taxable business income. So here heading is given computation of taxable income from business. Okay, it is necessary to give a heading when solving or computing the problem of business or profession. Then name of assessee. So here name of assessee is given ABC. ABC. Assessment year is 2020-21 and previous year is 2019-20. Okay, so assessment year means the tax is paid in 2021 and the income is computed of 1920. Okay, So here particulars rupees, prepare a three column. First column is particulars, second column is rupees, and third column is rupees. Here net profit as per profit and loss account or surplus as per income and expenditure account. So first of all, we write a net profit as per or given in the problem as per profit and loss account, and if income and expenditure account is given, then surplus as per income and expenditure account. We write down the net profit directly to the outer column. Okay, here that is 3x or 3 star. Okay, then we add disallowed expenses or inadmissible expenses. So here disallowed expenses means what, or inadmissible expenses means what? So disallowed expenses or inadmissible expenses means those expenses which are not related to the business are disallowed expenses, and these expenses are added in our net profit because we write down the excess expenses on the debit side of profit and loss account. It will affect on our net profit, that is our net profit will be deducted, okay, or reduced. So we add these expenses, okay, those expenses which are not related to business are add in net profit. Okay, so here some or list of expenses is given which is not related to business. First expenses is household expenses of owner. It means a assessee expend or spend some money for household, then these expenses is not related to business. Okay, okay, assessee will spend some money for household, then these expenses is not related to business, but he show these expenses on the debit side of profit and loss account and reduce the net profit, so that we have to add his personal expenses or household expenses in net profit. Okay, so household expenses is not related to business, it is related to a respective assessee, okay, or assessee. So these expenses is add in net profit. Then personal expenses is also related to assessee, not related to business, so that these expenses is add in net profit. Okay, so personal expenses is related to the taxpayer, and it is not related to so here the expenses which is not related to business are disallowed expenses. Only business expenses is allowable expense, or it should not be taken into consideration while computing the taxable or total income of a business. Capital expenditure is disallowed expenditure. Okay, then life insurance policy for taxpayer. So life insurance policy is the personal expenses of that assessee, so it is also disallowed. Donation is also disallowed expenses in business. Provision for reserve or provisions and reserve, so all the provisions and reserves are disallowed in business. Provision for GST, excise, custom duty are disallowed expenses. Okay, so the provision for GST, excise duty and custom duty, so all these provisions all provisions are disallowed. Okay, proprietor salary is also disallowed. Okay, it means it is not related to business expenses. Interest on capital is also disallowed. Interest on drawings also disallowed. Okay, so here list of expenses is given. So interest on drawings is disallowed, excess depreciation is disallowed. Okay, outstanding expenses is disallowed, payment made in cash in excess of rupees 10,000 or 35,000 in case of transport sector under section 43B, then this payment is disallowed. It means the payment made in cash more than 10,000, then this transaction or cash transaction is disallowed. Or payment made in cash more than 35,000 in respect of transport sector, then these transactions is also disallowed under section 43B. Income tax is also disallowed, gift tax is also disallowed, contribution to political party is also disallowed, contribution to URPF, it means unrecognized provident fund, and PPF, public provident fund, it is also disallowed. The contribution is related to proprietors. The proprietor contributes some income or some amount for future benefits or retirement benefits, is the contribution relating to the proprietor, not related to business. So this contribution is disallowed expenses in the business. All the capital losses is also disallowed in the business. Income tax penalty or GST penalty is also disallowed expenses. Undervaluation of closing stock and overvaluation of opening stock. Overvaluation of stock, but here overvaluation of opening stock. Overvaluation of opening stock is disallowed. Okay, so all these expenses are disallowed because these expenses is not related to the business, and some expenses not follow the sections of Income Tax Act 1961. So all these are disallowed expenses, and we add these all expenses in our net profit. Okay, so our correct net profit is earned during computation of income of business. Then we less allowable expenses not recorded in the books of account. So here some allowable expenses is given to you in your adjustment. Okay, some allowable expenses is given to you in your additional information. Okay, and that is related to the business, so these expenses is allowed to you to deduct these expenses from net profit. Okay, got it? So here expenses related to business but given into adjustment, then these expenses is allowable for deductions, so that we reduce these or deduct these expenses from net profit. So depreciation as per income tax rule is given to you, then this depreciation is allowable for deduct from net profit. Any other expenditure allowed to deduct, any other expenditure which is related to business allowable for deduction. Then we add first point, add disallowed expenses. Then second point, less allowable expenses not recorded in the books of accounts. Then add allowable income not recorded in the books of accounts. Okay, allowable income not recorded in the books of accounts. So allowable income, for example, business income. Okay, so all business income is allowable for add in net profit, because income earned, then our net profit has increased. Okay. So that the allowable income not recorded in the books of accounts are add in net profit. Then we deduct a income chargeable under other heads in profit and loss account. Okay, so the income recorded in the books of accounts, but which is not related to business. Okay, which is related to other heads, so this income is deducted from net profit. Okay, so here rent of house property or rent from house property. So rent from house property is not a business income, it is a income of house property, but recorded on the credit side of profit and loss account. It shows or it increases the net profit of the concern, so we have to minimize or we have to deduct this income from the net profit so that our net profit is correct. Okay, then bad debts recovered. Okay, bad debt recovered is also other income in the case if the bad debts is disallowed in previous year as deduction. It means in last year the bad debts is not allowed as a business expenses, then in next year or in current year these bad debts recovered is not a business income. Okay, refund of income tax is also income from other heads. Gift is also other head. Those income which are not related to business are deducted from net profit. Okay, those expenses which are related to business, then we add this income in the net profit. Those expenses which are related to business but not recorded in the books of account, then we deduct these expenses from the net profit. Remember the simple format of computation of taxable income. So all these are the income from other source, then we deduct these expenses from the net profit, we get a taxable income of a business. So here other income or other income includes rent of from house property, rent from house property, bad debts recovered not allowed as deduction in previous year, PY. Okay, refund of income tax, gift received from parents or gift received from friends, dividend received, interest on fixed deposit, interest on debenture, interest on bonds, these all are other income or other source of income. Winning of lotteries, races, profit on sale of capital assets, grants and subsidies received from government, overvaluation of closing stock and undervaluation of opening stock is income, but this income is other income or other heads income. So all these other income is deducted from our net profit, we get a taxable income from business. Okay, so very easy format is this. Okay, first of all we find out a net profit, and net profit is given to you in profit and loss account, so that we first of all write down the net profit as per profit and loss account amounted to dot dot. Then second point, add disallowed expenses or inadmissible expenses. So remember the meaning of that word, that is disallowed expenses or inadmissible expenses means those expenses which are not related to business are considered as disallowed expenses or inadmissible expenses, so that we add these expenses in net profit to arrive at correct net profit or to find out a correct net profit of the business. Okay, then second point, we deduct all allowable expenses not recorded. Second means it is a third point. Okay, third point, that is less allowable expenses, less allowable business expenses. Here allowable business expenses not recorded in the books of accounts. Okay, it means allowable expenses related to business is not recorded in profit and loss account, but it is given to you in additional information. Then these expenses is deducted from net profit. Okay, so some or two list is given here: depreciation as per income tax rule and any other expenditure allowed to deduct related to business. Then fourth point, add allowable income or allowed business income, allowed business income not recorded in the books of accounts but given to you in additional information. Then this income should be added in our net profit. Then fifth point, less deduct income chargeable under other heads. Okay, deduct income chargeable under other heads, and this income is given to you in profit and loss account credit side. So easily find out the income, and that income or list of income is given here under other heads. That is rent from EHP, bad debts record but previously disallowed, refund of income tax, gift, dividend, interest on FD, debenture, bonds, winning of lotteries, race, profit on sale of capital assets, grant and subsidies, overvaluation of closing stock, undervaluation of opening stock. Okay, then we make the total of income chargeable under other heads, and then we deduct this income from net profit. Then we arrive at taxable income of a business. Okay, taxable income from a business. Got it? Okay sir, got it. तर बघा, एकदम सिंपल फॉर्मॅट इथं सांगितलेलं आहे. ओके, बिझनेस म्हणजे काय आपण पाहिलं, प्रोफेशन म्हणजे काय आपण पाहिलं, त्यामध्ये कोणकोणते सेक्शननुसार एक्सपेन्सेस टॅक्ससाठी चार्जेबल आहेत ते पाहिलं. त्याच्यानंतर आपण कंडिशन्स पाहिल्या, इसेन्शियल कंडिशन की कम्प्यूट करत असताना बिझनेसचा इन्कम कोणत्या कोणत्या कंडिशन्स लक्षात घेतल्या पाहिजेत हे एक आपण पाहिलं. त्याच्यानंतर आपण फॉर्मॅट पाहिला. फॉर्मॅटमध्ये आपण पाहिलं की पहिल्यांदा आपण आपल्याला जर प्रॉब्लेममध्ये प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस किंवा इन्कम अँड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट दिलं असेल तर हा फॉर्मॅट आपण यूज करणार आहे. मग बिझनेसचा इन्कम कम्प्यूट करत आहे आपण, तर प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंट दिलं तर आपण त्या प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंटमधून नेट प्रॉफिट घेणार आणि नेट प्रॉफिट ॲज पर प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंट डायरेक्ट आउटर कॉलमला लिहिणार. त्याचबरोबर इन्कम अँड एक्सपेंडिचर असेल तर सरप्लस दिला जाईल, सरप्लस असेल तर तो सरप्लस घ्या. त्यानंतर पहिला पॉईंट येतो तो म्हणजे ॲड करायचे आहेत आपल्याला डिसअलाउड एक्सपेन्सेस ऑर इनॲडमिसिबल एक्सपेन्सेस. तुम्हाला जे प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंटच्या डेबिटला दिलेले खर्च आहेत त्यामध्ये आपल्याला शोधावं लागेल की कोणते खर्च हे बिझनेसचे नाहीत. ओके, जे खर्च बिझनेसशी रिलेटेड नाहीत ते सर्व खर्च इथं ॲड करावे लागतील. का करावे लागतील तर एक्सिस एक्सपेन्सेस लिहिल्यामुळे आपला नेट प्रॉफिट होणार आहे कमी. नेट प्रॉफिट कमी झाला तर त्याच्यावरती टॅक्स त्याला काय करावं लागणार आहे, कमी भरावा लागणार आहे. मग यासाठी इन्कम टॅक्स ॲक्ट काय म्हणतं किंवा इन्कम टॅक्सने काय सांगितलेलं आहे की बिझनेसचा इन्कम किंवा टॅक्सेबल इन्कम बिझनेसचा फाइंड आउट करताना तर तुम्हाला बिझनेसचे जे खर्च असतील तेवढेच तुम्ही त्यातून डिडक्ट करू शकता. बिझनेसचे खर्च जे नाहीत ते तुम्हाला अलाव केले जाणार नाहीत डिडक्शनसाठी. म्हणून इथं आपण जे खर्च बिझनेसशी रिलेटेड नाहीत ते ॲड केले आणि त्याच्यावरून आपण करेक्ट प्रॉफिट फाइंड आउट केला. ओके, मग यामध्ये पर्सनल एक्सपेन्सेस असतील, हाऊसहोल्ड एक्सपेन्सेस असतील, कॅपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर असतील. तर कॅपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर आपण कधीही प्रॉफिट अँड लॉसच्या डेबिटला एक्सपेन्सेस म्हणून दाखवत नाही. इट इज ए ॲसेट अँड इट गिव्स ए लॉंग टर्म बेनिफिट फॉर द concern, so that the capital expenditure should not be considered as expenses of the business. Life insurance policy related to the SSC, so that these expenses is not related to business. Donation is also disallowed expenses. All provisions and reserves. Okay, सगळ्या प्रोव्हिजन आणि सगळे रिझर्व्स हे डिसअलाउड एक्सपेन्सेस राहतील. त्यानंतर प्रोप्रायटरची सॅलरी तुमची डिसअलाउड राहील, इंटरेस्ट ऑन कॅपिटल असेल, इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्रॉइंग असेल, हे सर्व खर्च तुमचे काय राहतील, डिसअलाउड राहतील, हे त्यामध्ये तुम्हाला सांगितलेलं आहे. त्यानंतर काही सेक्शन्स दिलेले आहेत 43B नुसार. यामध्ये काय आहे तर पेमेंट मेड इन कॅश more than rupees 10,000 then this transaction is disallowed. Okay, so more than 10,000 or the transaction is more than 10,000, then the concern will give a cross check and that check is allowed for deduction, but excess or more than 10,000 payment in cash is not allowed in the business. As well as the payment made in cash more than 35,000 in respect of transport sector under section 43B is not allowed as business expenditure. Okay, according to the section 43B. Income tax, gift tax, contribution to URPF, PPF, all capital losses, income tax penalty, GST penalty, undervaluation of closing stock, overvaluation of opening stock. So all these expenses are disallowed. Okay, अंडरव्हॅल्युएशन ऑफ क्लोजिंग स्टॉक मीन्स स्टॉक तुम्ही कमी लिहिलेला आहे, कमी लिहिला असेल तर तो काय करावा लागेल, वाढवावा लागेल, यासाठी ॲड होईल. ओव्हर व्हॅल्युएशन ऑफ ओपनिंग स्टॉक, ओपनिंग स्टॉक तुम्ही ओव्हर व्हॅल्यूड केलेला आहे, ओव्हर व्हॅल्यूड म्हणजे जास्तीचा दाखवलेला आहे, जास्तीचा दाखवलेला म्हणजे जेवढी अमाऊंट जास्त दाखवली तेवढी त्या नेट प्रॉफिटमध्ये ॲड केली पाहिजे, त्याच वेळेस आपण नेट प्रॉफिट करेक्ट फाइंड आउट करणार आहे. त्यानंतर सेकंड पार्ट येतो तो म्हणजे लेस ऑर डिडक्ट अलावेबल बिझनेस एक्सपेन्सेस नॉट रेकॉर्डेड, म्हणजे अलावेबल बिझनेस एक्सपेन्सेस दिलेले जातील तुम्हाला ॲडजस्टमेंटमध्ये, ते तुम्ही फाइंड आउट करून इथून काय करू शकता, नेट प्रॉफिटमधून डिडक्ट करू शकता. मग त्यामध्ये डेप्रिसिएशन आहे आणि एनी अदर एक्सपेंडिचर रिलेटेड टू द बिझनेस, म्हणजे एनी अदर बिझनेसचा आहे का, तो बिझनेस असेल तर तो डिडक्ट करण्यासाठी अलाव केला जाईल. त्यानंतर आपण पाहिलं की ॲड अलाउड or allowable business income not recorded. Some business income is given to you in your additional information, so find out this income related to business. If this income is related to business, then we add this income in net profit so that we find out a correct net profit of the business. Then we deduct a income चार्जेबल अंडर अदर हेड्स. इट मीन्स अदर हेडचे इन्कम आपण प्रॉफिट अँड लॉसला जर दाखवले असतील, आता हे दाखवलं जातं का, तर आपला नेट प्रॉफिट जास्त यावा यासाठी सुद्धा दाखवलं जातं. मग यामध्ये काय केलं जातं, जे अदर हेडचे इन्कम तुम्ही चार्ज केले आहेत त्यामुळे तुमचा नेट प्रॉफिट काय झालेला आहे, वाढलेला आहे. जर तो वाढला असेल तर तो आपल्याला काय करावा लागेल, कमी करावा लागेल. म्हणून अदर इन्कम आपण काय करणार आहे, अदर हेडचा इन्कम डिडक्ट करणार आहे. मग यामध्ये लिस्ट दिलेली आहे. रेंट फ्रॉम हाऊस प्रॉपर्टी असेल, बॅड डेप्ट्स असतील, रिकवर, बॅड डेप्ट्स रिकवर झालेत, मग तुम्ही म्हणाला हा बिझनेसचा खर्च आहे, परंतु जर त्यामध्ये नोट्स दिली असेल की जो बॅड डेप्ट्स रिकवर झाला तो गेल्या वर्षी तुम्हाला डिसअलाउड खर्च दिला होता, म्हणजे तो तुम्हाला बिझनेसचा खर्च मान्य केला नव्हता, म्हणून तुम्ही काय केला होता तर ॲड केला होता नेट प्रॉफिटमध्ये. मग यावर्षी जर ते बॅड डेप्ट्स रिकवर झाले असतील तर ते चालू वर्षी बिझनेसचा इन्कम राहणार नाहीत, हे त्यामध्ये तुम्ही लक्षात घ्यायचं आहे. त्यानंतर रिफंड इन्कम टॅक्स मिळाला असेल तर तो सुद्धा तुमचा अदर इन्कम आहे. गिफ्ट मिळाले असेल मित्राकडून किंवा फॅमिलीकडून किंवा रिलेटिव्हकडून, ते सुद्धा अदर इन्कम आहे. डिव्हिडंड मिळाला असेल शेअर्सवरती, अदर इन्कम आहे. व्याज मिळालं असेल FD वरती किंवा डिबेंचरवरती किंवा बॉन्ड्सवरती, अदर इन्कम आहे. किंवा एखादी लॉटरी तुम्ही जिंकला असाल किंवा हॉर्स रेस तुम्ही जिंकला असाल, तो सुद्धा अदर इन्कम आहे. एखादी मशिनरी विकली, एखादी फिक्स्ड ॲसेट्स विकली आणि त्यातून झालेला प्रॉफिट, हा सुद्धा अदर इन्कम आहे. गव्हर्नमेंटकडून तुम्हाला ग्रँट मिळाली किंवा सबसिडी मिळाली, बिझनेसचा इन्कम नाही, काय आहे तर सबसिडी आहे, ग्रँट आहे, अदर इन्कम आहे. ओव्हर व्हॅल्युएशन ऑफ क्लोजिंग स्टॉक, जर बघा आता अंडर व्हॅल्यू होता म्हणून ॲड केला. अंडर व्हॅल्यू म्हणजे काय, कमी होता म्हणून तो वाढवून दाखवला. ओके, आता ओव्हर व्हॅल्युएशन म्हणजे जास्त तुम्ही क्लोजिंग स्टॉक लिहिलेला आहे ट्रेडिंग अकाउंटच्या क्रेडिटला, तर तो आपल्याला काय करावं लागेल, डिडक्ट करावं लागेल. तेवढ्यानं आपला नेट प्रॉफिट काय होईल, वाढेल, बरोबर. वाढला असेल तर तो काय करावा लागेल, कमी करावा लागेल. म्हणून ओव्हर व्हॅल्युएशन ऑफ क्लोजिंग स्टॉक लेस होईल. अंडर व्हॅल्युएशन ऑफ ओपनिंग स्टॉक म्हणजे काय, तर ओपनिंग स्टॉक तुम्ही काय केलेला आहे, कमी लिहिलेला आहे, ओके. त्यामुळे तो काय होईल, तर लेस होईल. ओके. मग जी काही टोटल येईल ती आपण नेट प्रॉफिटमधून लेस करणार आहे आणि जी अमाऊंट येईल ती आपली राहणार आहे टॅक्सेबल इन्कम राहणार आहे फ्रॉम बिझनेस. ओके, लक्षात आलं. सो हिअर in our today's lecture we are studied a definition of business profession and occasion as well as some essential conditions relating to computation of taxable income from business and format to compute a total or taxable income of business. Okay, in our next lecture we are start a practical problem on computation of taxable income of business. Okay, thank you very much.